What's good with it, Black Goose TV family, man? Double salute as always. It's your boy Fluence Boxing back in the building with some Fluence Boxing news for my people. And I'm coming on the breaking news side of the game. I'll be 100 with you. I know it's not necessarily breaking news no more because this came out earlier in the morning. And you know what I'm saying? The boxing community was all over it. And I don't blame them. But I had to give my opinion. I had to talk about it a little bit because I was one of the biggest haters. I'm gonna be 100 with you. I'm truthful. I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. I was one of the biggest haters when it come to this fight because I was just like, this fight ain't gonna happen. They keep feeding you these lies. They keep feeding you these fabrications. They keep telling you things that's just not true with no basis, no foundation, nothing that can allow me to say confidently Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence is gonna happen in November. Well, this is one of those amazing times where I'm very happy I'm wrong because that was me saying that out of, just frustration. Like we've been talking about this fight for so long. Nigga, I thought I wasn't going to see it till I was 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? I was like, at this point, shit, I'm going to be an old man by the time these dudes fight. But it seems as if we're really going to get Errol Spence versus Crawford in November. They've agreed to terms in principle. They have agreed to terms in principle. So anybody saying that there's contract signed, they're lying. There's no contract signed. But it seems both parties are okay with what's in the contracts. Both parties are okay with the venue. They're okay with the split, etc. So they've agreed to terms in principle, as you see from BoxingScene.com. We just need the signature on the paper, the pen to the pad, however you want to say. That's what we're waiting for. This is very good news. Not only is it good news, we about to have absolute bangers when it comes to the boxing community of fights before the end of this year, man. I've already dropped videos. I don't know what order I'm going to do this joint, but we have the possibility of seeing Tyson Fury, AJ. Of course, now we got Crawford, we got Spence. I still wish so much that Yard Arthur Betterman fight was still going, but unfortunately it's not. But we got some banger fights happening before the end of the year that I did not expect to actually happen. I'm absolutely excited for. I'm ecstatic. It's an amazing thing. So before we get into the article to see exactly what the details, the nitty gritty, any specifics to make us a lot more secure in the idea of this fight actually happening, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, roll to 5K before the end of the year. Show some love, notification gang, drop your comments, all that good stuff. You already know what it is. And of course, I want to know your guys' opinion. How do you feel about the possibility of this fight happening? They agree to terms and principles. So do you think it's going to happen? Do you think they're both going to sign on the dotted line? And if so, who y'all got winning? How y'all feeling about all of it? I know a lot of y'all out there, some Errol Spence fanboys. We got a few Terence Crawford fanboys. So light it up in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Talk your shit. So let's get into it. BoxingScene.com says, a fight to decide the first undisputed welterweight champion in more than a decade is finally within reach. BoxingScene.com has learned that talks between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford have resulted in both fighters agreeing to terms in principle. The matter is now in the hands of their respective legal teams to button up final details, which hopes that a deal will be signed by both parties in the coming days. Once finalized, the welterweight super fight is expected to headline a November 19th pay-per-view event from MGM Grand Garden Arena, according to the multiple parties familiar with such talks. The matchup date and location have been speculated and behind closed doors negotiation for the past several months. The most significant progress was made this week when representatives for Crawford, a promotional free agent, agreed to the last round of terms presented by the legal team representing Spence and premier boxing champion PBC, including his guaranteed purse and revenue split. ESPN.com boxing insider Mike Conger was the first to report the latest development. Representatives from BBC declined comment. Several representatives claimed to lack awareness of any such progress made, though at least three parties familiar with the situation were confident of the event moving forward. It is yet to be confirmed whether Showtime or Fox Sports will carry the pay-per-view event. Showtime is a frontrunner and expected platform, though BoxingScene.com has learned that Fox Sports, to which PBC is contractually bound to deliver a certain number of pay-per-view events per year, is prepared to aggressively bid to secure the event. Spence will defend his unified WBA, Super WBC, IBF titles, while Crawford puts his WBO title on the line in a bid to become a three-division lineal champion. The switch-hitting pound-for-pound entrant from Omaha, Nebraska, claimed true championship honors at lightweight and undisputed championship status at junior welterweight before moving up to the 147-pound division in 2018. Crawford's WBO title reign began with a 9-round knockout of unbeaten Jeff Horn in June 2018. He has then made 5 successful defenses, the last of which came in a 10th-round knockout of former two-time welterweight titleist Sean Porter last November 20th. The bout was his last under contract with Top Rank, having since filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Vegas-based promotional companies citing breach of contract, including a claim that they failed to make good on a promise to deliver a Spence fight. Spence has held the IBF welterweight title since his May 2017 11th round knockout of Kell Brook on the road in Sheffield, England. The 32-year-old southpaw from DeSoto, Texas, has defended the belt 6 times, including separate wins to claim the WBC and WBA super titles. Spence won the WBC belt after defeating Porter via split in their September 2019 unification bout, defending the green belt twice. His latest win came in April when Spence stopped Yordenis Ugas in the 10th round of the Showtime pay-per-view headliner. A Spence-Crawford fight has been called for industry-wide ever since Crawford's welterweight arrival. The two met backstage at the end of November 2018, almost 4 years ago, in Oklahoma City. The event became best remembered for the spirited verbal exchange between Spence and Crawford, who vowed to one day meet when the time was right. That time appears to be now, 4 years later, or at least in the next 2 months. According to ESPN.com, the finalized deal will include a bilateral rematch clause for the loser to exercise. The clause is similar as to what was included in February 2020 Tyson Fury-Deontay Wilder rematch. Fury won via one-sided 7th-round stoppage to claim the WBC and vacant lineal heavyweight championship, which was immediately followed by Wilder enforcing the contract clause for a third fight. A rematch clause in Spence-Crawford could create a mess after the near 17-year wait to crown the next undisputed welterweight champion in the fight in the 4-belt era. Eimantas Stanionis holds the WBA world regular welterweight title and so far has twice agreed to step aside and following for the WBA super titleist Ugas and now Spence to enter unification bouts. It would be asking a lot of him to stand down for a third time, even as he was granted an undercard slot on Spence Ugas, defeating Razab Boutiev to win the secondary title, and expected to land on the Spence-Crawford undercard. Another agreement could be reached as Stanionis' entire career has been showcased on PBC-branded shows through the company's year-long relationship. Jerron Boots Ennis is the IBF mandatory challenger, claiming the number 1 contender slot following a second-round knockout of Castillo Clay on May 14th. The 25-year-old Philadelphia-bred welterweight has appeared on PB shows in each of his last five starts, but is not directly signed to the company. His next fight date is not yet announced, though it is expected to be revealed once Spence-Crawford is made official, as the champion bout status has left several others in a holding pattern. Virgil Ortiz is another one. That said, any concerns over whether the belts will remain together following the outcome of Spence-Crawford is less important or significant than the fight itself, finally making its way to the schedule for the first time in 4 years. That day is expected to arrive very soon. So it looks like if the fight does get announced, which it probably will be, it's going to be stacked. They may have Boots on the undercard. They may have Stanionis on the undercard. But I think they're gonna probably stack the hell out of this card. But that's the update. Even though both teams are denying, or the PBC team, they didn't wanted to respond to any of the questions in regards to how close they are getting to it. Mike Compinger, usually when he announces or he reports something, it's usually right when it comes to boxing side of the game. He's like the Woj of boxing, Mike Compinger. So if he says something, it's probably happening. So how you guys feel about this, man? The fight's most likely going to happen. They agreed to terms in principle. We're just waiting for some things to get nailed out as far as contractually and for them to put the pen to the paper, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the ink to the pad, all that good stuff. So how do you guys feel about this fight? Who you guys leaning toward? Excited for the fight? Obviously, it's long overdue. Someone like me, a little bit on the old side of the game, long overdue. I'm not excited as I should be. I'm just like, man, finally. But on the younger generation, they're probably like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I wish I was 4 years younger because I'd be a lot more excited for this. But I'm like I said, the infamous backstage back and forth between Crawford and Errol Spence, that was 4 years ago. So this is 4 years, 5 years in the making. And at this point, I'm just like, shit, I'm not excited for it. I'm like, this make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, I also forgot Conor Ben Eubank is going to be happening too. So, but anyways, I'm excited. It's most likely going to end up happening. If you guys are skeptical about it still, please drop in the comments why. I don't blame you. I still want to be kind of skeptical about it, but we're going to see. You feel me? So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, road to 5K. Y'all already know what it is, man. Notification gang, comment on the joint. Let me hear your opinion on the Schwarzenegger side of the game. I'll be back. But with more boxing. Stay blessed, not stressed. Y'all.